Hi, my name is Jason Abshire. My son is Matt Abshire. We have been playing with James Gamble with United organization. It was the Legends whenever we started out. For about 4 years, I guess now. He played his first tournament whenever he was an 8th grader. He came in at the end of his travel ball summer and met everybody, and then we moved on into fall ball, which I definitely recommend. Fall ball is, especially for a freshman, if you have people that are, or kids that are going to come in as a freshman, people underestimate the value of getting the high school reps, and that's actually where James and I met for the first time. James explained to me the value in playing the game, not to win the game, but to actually just to develop. And it was a very long conversation, actually. We probably talked, I listened for about 30 minutes, which I hope all of you guys will do too, because James is the biggest asset that James was to me is to be able to explain the process. And explain the process, and he told me, he said, look, he said, you're gonna get frustrated with me, your son's gonna develop, you gotta give him time to develop, and he's gonna fail. So we kept going. We played that fall, we played every year round. As we were going, I started realizing, well, first I got kind of frustrated because my son was above average at least, and I could see that he was doing better than a lot of kids were playing against, and I couldn't understand why he wasn't getting looks, why college coaches didn't have any interest. And eventually I just talked to James and I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, what's the deal? He's like, he's not ready. He's just not ready yet. He said, you have to, there's no point in exposing a kid that's not ready, because then he's going to be labeled. And that made sense to me. Once I finally thought about it for a while. As he started, at the next thing that James was able to do was he bring in college coaches from all over, really, and we made some relationships there. One of them was a catcher coach. His name was Dallas Burke. At the time, he was at Bowling Green. No, he was a junior college coach, an amazing catcher coach. So he came in, and my son happened to be fortunate enough to play for him. Gave him unbelievable catching instruction, especially in the blocking and receiving end of things. He ended up moving on to Bowling Green State and then to West Virginia, which in those 2 next consecutive summers, my son was able to go to camp up there. I think James encouraged that not because he thought that my son was going to go, or actually he was trying to figure out if my son would want to go that far, so he could have some exposure. Which at the end of the day, my son realized that, you know what, I really don't want to travel that much, especially right out of high school. So it helped him understand some things. And then next thing that happened was one of my son's goals was to go to the USA baseball trials. And he was selected to go to the USA baseball trials. And that's something that happened as a result of this organization. And it was a great experience in the fact that he finally saw somebody that was better than him. I know that sounds odd, but whenever a kid gets complacent and they just good enough, it's nice to be able to go somewhere where somebody's better than you, so you can have a new goal. And sure enough, and I think James knew that, and that's why he wanted to send us there. And sure enough, my son did see somebody better than him, and he came home and he got to work. And now that's kind of one of the things that James has done. This whole process, he tries to figure out what motivates kids, and uses that to motivate them, to put them in situations that's going to bring out their best. Once we went through all of that, he ended up getting, right out of his junior year, they ended up winning high school state championship. And right after that, he was offered a financial scholarship by UNO. One of the things that James never did was try to get us just to commit. He wanted to make sure, to the best of his ability, that we would commit, or Matt would commit, where he really wanted to go, where he feel comfortable. So we had many conversations, which I would encourage too. Many conversations as to what Matt's real goals were. And eventually it came out that Matt really wanted to not go to an organization and wait. He wanted to go somewhere to play. So once we ended up figuring out that, and the thing with the discussion with the UNO offer, the statistics are that typically a catcher right out of high school is not going to start. He's not going to have an opportunity to play immediately. So my son decided that he was going to just wait, and that offer got past us, and we ended up sitting down again and saying, okay, what do we want to do? He did some networking. He ended up finding a college coach that was in the junior college system, and explained to us about the junior college system in the sense that they have more scholarships. They have 2 seasons, the fall and the spring season. And the opportunities for a kid to start that at a high level is higher than in a Division I. So he ended up networking, which is James's biggest asset, for a coach at Hines Community College in Mississippi. This guy had played as a catcher. They actually had 3 catcher coaches at that junior college. Went over there, really liked him. Was going to offer him, but had already offered a kid. That kid ended up accepting the offer within a week. Interestingly enough, through the same network, which is why I'm advocating for these guys. That coach from the other college called his old coach, which is at Panola College in Carthage, Texas, and said, you need to look at this guy. Within a few weeks, we went out there, we had our tryout, if you will, with the head coach. Within a few minutes, the head coach recognized exactly what his old player had said that he had in Matt. And that coach, again at Panola, the head coach, was a catcher. So at this point, James has helped us find exactly what Matt wanted, which was to better go somewhere as an opportunity to start, to play for a coach that's a catcher, at a really good division, or good conference in the country. So definitely recommend anybody looking into playing, or their kid to play showcase ball to consider this organization. I know there's a whole bunch of Twitter organizations and Twitter feeds about organizations getting kids committed. What I have, just a quick thought about that is, what I have learned with this is James is not going to just get your kid committed to benefit his organization, especially if it's a preferred walk-on. What he helped me, what he educated me with, is that if you early commit as a preferred walk-on, in particular early commit, then the college has nothing invested in you. So it's easy for the college to overcommit kids, and then you put yourself in a bad situation. That's one of the things that James had even offered way early in the discussions, even as a sophomore or junior. He said, Matt, if you want to commit, I can get you preferred walk-on tomorrow. But I don't think that's what you want. I don't think you want to just go somewhere and not play. So just be wary of those other organizations out there that are more worried about getting a commitment than actually taking care of what's in the best interest of your kid. So thank you.